So we're at 12:31, so let's make a start. I'd like to welcome everybody officially to this webinar, this half-hour webinar with Tribe. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day to meet with us. So let me get started. So I'd like to do a quick bit of information or introduction. Some of you will know who I am. My name's Derek Good. Company is Learning Planet. I'm just hosting today. And I've been in New Zealand for 21 years and in the contact center industry that time and in training. And Learning Planet basically is a content platform that provides customer service, leadership, sales, and other soft skills content. It's watched in over 150 different countries, but it's all made here in New Zealand. That's enough about me. You're really here to hear from Tribe. So a little bit about Tribe as an organization, a recruitment agency established in 2014. And really like to see themselves as innovative with the ethos of culture first and leaving no stone unturned within the search process across both temporary, permanent and contract recruitment in New Zealand. They do specialize in the customer service and contact center space, and their experienced team understand the challenges and complexities of recruiting in this space. So if you're a large organization, a government organization, or a small to medium business, Tribe can help you tell your story in a meaningful way to attract the top talent across New Zealand. And with us today, as you can see on the screen, we've got Catherine Thompson, who is Head of Customer Service and Contact Centres, and Nathan Ford, who's a Senior Project and Volume Recruiter. A little bit about both of our speakers today, or our guests today. Cathy, a true recruitment leader, has over 15 years experience, predominantly spent with a global corporate organisation. And Cathy's built and grown teams across both business support and contact centres in New Zealand and Scotland. Her passion is around creating long-lasting partnerships and approaches things with an open and optimistic mindset, adding value by solving resourcing challenges and being creative in how she does this along the way. So that's a bit about Cathy. Nathan, passionate about quality when delivering high volume in the customer service and call centre space. Originally from the UK, that's like most of us here, isn't it? Over 20 years of playing rugby. So I wonder who you're going to be supporting in the World Cup there, Nathan. Also has a Bachelor of Science honours degree in sports coaching and brings that true competitive edge together with the ability to build relationships and connect top talent to great clients. Nathan really is sort of owning the recruitment of project and volume spaces, knows the importance of bringing a customized approach to each client he works with, and we're excited to have him and Cathy with us today. All right, well, we'll get started here. So first question, what I suppose people would like to know is to get an understanding of the state of the current market. Companies obviously having to navigate what seems to be quite a global talent shortage. How is this affecting the contact center space here, and how are clients and candidates responding?
Okay, I can kick off with that one for you, Derek. Thank you. So I think it's probably key to point out that it's not new for people to hear that there is a talent shortage, specifically in New Zealand, and the market does really remain pretty challenging. Unemployment recently rose from 3.4 to 3.6%. And while we've now had some net migration of over 100,000, which means we've obviously got some international candidates in the market, the question is, does this support contact centres specifically? Temporary recruitment remains pretty challenging, more challenging than permanent recruitment. And this is due to numerous factors off the back of COVID, including migration, but also the general candidate sentiment and that need for security and stability, alongside, of course, the ever-increasing cost of living that we're contending with at the moment. So specifically within contact centres, a talent shortage can potentially affect the quality of customer service provided by contact centres. A shortage of skilled agents might result in longer wait times, reduced service quality, and increased customer dissatisfaction. So we can certainly see that there are some mixed responses to this current situation. Things such as a bit of a panic, we need someone, we need to hire them now response. It's what we would essentially call panic hiring. This can result in pressurized decision making and is often accompanied by inconsistent or kind of haphazard hiring processes. We're continuing to see organisations hire strictly for skills over motivations, as the need to have people hit the ground running is paramount. some clients may choose to respond to what's going on at the moment by outsourcing their contact centre operations to regions or countries where there is larger talent pools. We're also seeing some of our clients upskilling existing employees, so they are in effect multidisciplined across areas of a contact centre, so think inbound and outbound or vice versa. We're also seeing clients really lean into and invest in technology, which is huge at the moment, to streamline operations. It's key to note here that while clients might see improved service with enhanced technologies, there could still be some impact on customer experience. So clients may invest in technology solutions like AI-driven chatbots and self-service options to reduce the burden on human agents and improve efficiency. I'm going to pass you over to Nathan for more of the candidate side. So that was kind of covering off what we're seeing from a response perspective from the client side of things, but Nathan can cover off on the candidate side if you like.
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
Thanks, Kathy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, it is a bit of a different story from the candidate side. Generally speaking, candidates in the market at the moment have a more favourable job perspectives at the moment, and you know, have employers that potentially can offer better compensation packages, and that's something that they've really got to consider. This tends to create more movement for candidates and kind of has a bit of a knock-on effect against the loyalty of candidates to the employer, because ultimately they are looking for that better package, especially within Auckland, given the increase of the cost of living. It kind of means that candidates are looking for that all-round best package deal, which isn't just limited to just what the salary is. If we really look and reflect the comment made earlier around upskilling current agents, we have also noticed that there is a sense of overwhelming with candidates, and looking at from their perspective, around candidates being spread pretty thinly, you know, reflecting that kind of shortage of talent, really.
So would you say then a candidates market out there?
50-50, to be honest with you. You know,
Okay.
it's not so much around what the candidates are trying to find, but it's also what the organization can offer and see what is achievable from both sides. But again, brings me back to that point where it is that overall package. Especially if you look at, you know, some of the times that we've gone through, that sense of security in the package is a really big deal for candidates, and everything that clients are doing, every little bit that they're putting in, and what organizations are trying to do for their candidates go a long way, and certainly aren't you know, brushed aside or unrecognized.
But there is definitely more choice for candidates than there has been in the past with the number of people that are trying to recruit in a limited market.
Yeah, and it kind of comes down to, you know, again, we're at a talent shortage where everyone's screaming out for good talent, and like I said, that package deal, if there are better package deals out there that feel like candidates are better valued for their work that they're doing, then you know, that's where the movement's going to be, and reflects again back on that kind of slight knock-on effect with the lack of loyalty from candidates, because they are seeking that better package as an overall.
So that's a good message to take away from our session, is that if you are looking at employment for people and getting it's good to have a package together, not just think, oh, what's the going rate, but it's also what other things can I attach to that's going to make people want to work for us and then keep them there as well.
100%.
Okay, well, there is a question popped up there, but I think that's more likely to be linked to question 2. So let's have a look at that. The second question that I've got on my list to ask you really is around what are clients doing to reduce turnover? Of course, if there is, you know, if there's a lack of people there, you don't want to lose people unless they're people that you're happy to lose. So have you got any tips or any trends that you're seeing out there about how people are keeping their teams and how to reduce turnover?
Yeah, for sure. I can kick off with that one. So look, reducing turnover in the contact centre industry is obviously crucial for maintaining operational efficiency, improving customer service, and while somewhat counterproductive for Tribe, I guess, it's also crucial in reducing your recruitment costs too. So the best clients in the contact centre space at the moment are implementing multiple strategies to reduce turnover, as no one thing will kind of address this. It's also an ongoing process, so don't think that you can kind of do something, leave it, and that's it fixed. It's ongoing. It needs reviewed, tweaked, and reflected on and refined regularly. It is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. So while there are loads of things, many things you can be doing, we won't have time to touch on all of them. But for the purpose of today's session, we are going to highlight probably 3 or 4 in detail, and they're the ones that we believe are best practice at the moment. It's probably key at this point to say some of these things aren't going to be fresh or new ideas. We're not necessarily reinventing the wheel here, but like I was once told when attending a training session, if you can take one thing from this session and for whatever reason it resonates with you or lands with you today as something you can action or implement, then it's a win. So I'll pass you back to Nathan here to kick off with one of the first things we're seeing, which appears to be a real focus and is really supporting with the retention and turnover side of things.
Yeah, definitely, and it definitely links as well to that kind of overall package as well, for candidates. And my first kind of key point really is looking at the employee engagement. Creating a positive work environment and a sense of actually belonging can really boost employee morale and commitment. Really don't underestimate how far this goes. We need to really make a workplace where people enjoy and want to be, help them to feel safe, have that real sense of belonging. We can touch on this around, team building. That's a really good tool to support that. Encouraging teams to, have a bit more of that collaboration and creating a sense of community improves workplace relationships. It makes individuals genuinely want to turn up, do their best, not just for their paycheck, for the company or for their leaders, but also actually for their team and their colleagues. Connectivity is really strong and a really powerful tool that organizations can really use, really to their advantage as well. Kind of leads me on to providing wellness initiatives. 100% contributes to employees' overall engagement and more importantly their well-being and then in turn the job satisfaction as well. So we do see this executed well, and the result can be really powerful. Undeniably become more important to have those employees around that COVID time. I guess it really reflects as a trend to have a wellness piece as part of your organization. If it's not really being looked at, and you're not looking at that the employees their whole self, we need to think around implementing some simple wellness steps to ultimately address this. Simple things that we're hearing in the market can come down to including like micro movement breaks, personal or my days, engaging external well-being partners and organizations. I know us at Tribe, we actually work with an organization called Groove, who are an organization that focus on lifting the well-being and in turn the performance across the workplace. We definitely appreciate though that well-being organizations and external organizations will have the cost effective to it, and not every organization will actually have the budget to do that. However, there are ideas in the market that people are doing that can be free, and also relatively low cost as well. But like I said, we'll go a long way. Another thing is having a strong EVP is also key for the employee engagement. Those doing well with attracting and retaining talent, they know their EVP, they live and breathe it, and it is evident from the start to finish part of the recruitment process. It kind of resonates with those you are trying to attract. It's authentic and accurately reflects your organization as a whole. All right.
Okay, great. Thank you. There's a couple of questions that yes, it's great. There's a couple of questions that are linked to the previous bit before we got into what you could be doing in your organization. A couple of people have asked questions around what sort of additional things would be in a package that could be useful for organizations to be considering. Is it things like extra leave? You mentioned that potentially in one of the things you just said, but also is it insurance? I mean, what are things that people are responding to that help them make a decision to work for an organization on top of salary?
Yeah, I think like you mentioned around insurance, it's a great thing to know. I think package also looks at what is your organization about? What do you offer? If you are an insurance organization, why is that not being offered to your employees? It's about them feeling part of the organization, not just the ones that come in and do the work and kind of move on. It's that real sense of team and culture and that belonging. So what you offer, what organizations offer their customers, it would be very beneficial why we're not offering it to our employees that are the ones that are that front end, especially in that contact center space. They're the front end of your customers. So benefit packages can be what the organizations are about, and it can be as simple as that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, and hitting the mark with benefits often depends on the age and stage of your employer, so it kind of really depends. So a bit of a mix of benefits is always a good way, a good way to go. So you've got things that will pique different people's interests, so it's not a one size fits all type thing. But some of the things that we've seen have been, and we talk about them a bit later on as well, but petrol vouchers, the cost of petrol at the moment is extortionate, and traveling around and getting to work in Auckland is extortionate. We've seen the My Days, the wellness piece, all that kind of stuff really means things to people now, and it also allows individuals to see that businesses are caring about them. Not just expecting them to turn up and do their job type thing. So
things like gym memberships or childcare, things like that, are they things that are considered?
They are still considered, yes, absolutely. But it really depends on your demographic and your workforce.
Yeah.
And I think it's having multiple options for people to decide what's going to work for them. Somebody earlier on in their career may not be worrying about health insurance, but as you get a little bit older in life, that might become more prominent to you, So really
good to have a bit of a range, isn't it? A bit of a range that might hit a number of demographics. Absolutely. Okay, thank you for that. Some more questions coming in, but a couple of these might be answered with this next question.
Other things. Sorry, that was just Kathy's going to lead on to a couple.
Oh, okay, you got some more going.
A couple of other points we have under that question.
Go ahead. Go.
Maybe not as lengthy as that one, but another thing that we're seeing is effective leadership. So supportive and skilled leadership can create a positive and motivating working environment, and something that we just, again, can't underestimate. So open communication, approachability, creating a sense of psychological safety, especially post-COVID again, is hugely beneficial and what many people are seeking. I recently visited a client who are big on an open door policy, approachability, clear lines of communication, just in general. And when I went on site, you could really feel and see the impact of that while being there. You could kind of sense that people felt comfortable to chat to anyone about anything. And it was quite powerful. Other things on the leadership side of things are those regular check-ins, and not only around work-related stuff, but also around more holistic approach around giving them an opportunity to raise non-work related concerns. And this can really enhance satisfaction. Another piece that we've seen is organisations that are able to and comfortable with having a feedback forum. This is where you're actively seeking and acting on employee feedback. It just demonstrates that they're valued and that they feel like that they have a voice, and again leads to that higher job satisfaction as well. So what we're seeing is those companies that can invest in their leaders and equip them with the tools to develop and empower their teams are seeing and will continue to support a reduction in turnover. So some of the things we're seeing that organisations are doing to support their leaders could be offering things such as the mental health wellbeing training, organising mentors or coaches for your leaders, and not just the stereotypical 101 of how to be a leader type thing.
Okay.
Back to you, Nathan.
Yeah, another kind of point from me is more so on that innovative technologies. So we touched on it earlier when discussing around client responses to talent shortage. Actually investing in efficient and user-friendly technologies can make agents' tasks easier and actually more enjoyable. Effective training and support around technology is also key. Technology is forever advancing and changing daily, and actually utilizing it to its best ability, and having that continuous support and training is definitely needed. We often see the ability to navigate current technology as a bit of a hurdle, and actually having and investing the time into that proper training, the support for any new platforms. Those are the ones that are reaping the reward of candidates being satisfied with their day-to-day tasks. It is common for organizations to train up front, but miss on that kind of continuous support and training and processes that are being implemented during their journey with the organization. So what we're really trying to say is when candidates are frustrated with technologies and therefore start to not enjoy their job, that's when they will look to see what else is out there. So having that initial training and then the following up training around just the technology side is going to make for a much more positive and enjoyable environment.
Okay. Cool.
Lastly, and this kind of relates to one of the questions I think that came through, Derek, was around the package piece. So we touched on competitive salary and benefits.
Yep.
We're seeing lots of creative benefits come through. I touched on some of those before. Birthday leave was another thing that's cropped up. We've also seen organisations offer attendance bonuses. So, you know, if they've got attendance over a certain percentage, then they'll get a bonus for being there. But what we're seeing is those offering flexible working schedules and remote options as part of their package really help employees achieve a better work-life balance, but are also widening their talent pools and just not restricting them to locations. So that flexible hybrid working is also classed as a benefit, if you like, as part of a package.
Okay, cool. Well, there was a question about work from home, and I think that that you might have some responses around some of the methods that organisations are going to sort of be alternative. Is it about diversity? Is it about working from home? What other things can employers consider doing that will attract and keep people there?
Yeah, look, I think the remote working is a huge thing. So it's not remote working is not a new thing now, but it's definitely something in the contact center world that's not necessarily high on the uptake. So I think we went through a period of time during COVID where everybody was working from home, and we've slowly seen a migration of people coming back into the offices, predominantly within contact centres. But those who have still got that flexibility are seeing retention and will see a retention of talent because it's just seen as a benefit. It's a cost saving for individuals. It's a stress relief not having to travel and commute into the city on a daily basis. So, if you're not doing that, what are your reasons for not doing it, and can you relook at it? And that would be a huge thing I think organisations could do to widen their talent pool and allow them to look at, different people and be more an employer of choice, if you like.
And doesn't that open up the pool for them a bit more if they can, seek people outside of their just immediate geographical area? Surely that opens up a wider group of candidates. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll touch on this later, but we are seeing a lot of people migrate from or out of Auckland,
Right.
again, because of the cost of living. So, instead of losing that talent because they just physically can't get to your office location, why not try and keep them? So, we're challenging clients and talking to them about, some of them are doing it and they're doing it incredibly well. But others aren't. They're nervous. It's how do I know what they're doing and how can I track their productivity? So, but yeah, definitely opens up the talent pool if you've got that level of flexibility.
Sure. And if they change the measures, they won't have to worry about what are they doing, right? Because to measure the right stuff and you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So Nathan, you're going to add anything to that?
No, I think Kathy's kind of touched on that pretty well and pretty accurately, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, look, I know we're getting close to this sort of half-hour ending mark here. I have a question, perhaps if there are some unanswered questions or a couple in here that we might not have covered completely. Is there going to be an opportunity for us perhaps to keep these questions and perhaps give a written response back, and that Maylene can send off to those that were in attendance? Is that something that we could do to ensure that the people that have answered questions, we might not get to them, that there'll be some response at some point? Would
Absolutely.
that be all right?
Yep. Yeah. We're happy. I think after this, you'll get a notification from us anyway. We're happy to write a written response. We're happy to jump on the phone. We're happy to grab a coffee and go through any questions that anyone's got that are unanswered throughout this. So.
Okay, well, that's great. That's a nice bonus for attending the session today. Okay, well, we are pretty short on the time. Perhaps I could just ask if there's something that you'd like to close with, Kathy and Nathan, if there's something that you got in your notes that you haven't been able to share yet, or is there a piece of advice that you think would be your parting advice for those that are in attendance? If you'd like to share that with us now, perhaps Nathan, would you like to go first?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's kind of rolling on from kind of what Kathy just touched on is actually the remote, again, on the remote working, and also a combination of the outsourcing part as well, and in terms of talent shortages, it's for organizations, it's looking at that no stone unturned from traditional recruitment methods, really looking and thinking what options do we have and what have we not tried, and kind of have another approach of it. And touching on that, outsourcing is a good concept to actually spread over that hiring landscape. And again, knowing around the remote working is another great point to touch on, in that geographically, there are lots of candidates in the market at the moment that are outside of those, your Auckland, your Wellington, your Christchurch, big areas that have great experience. They can actually hit the ground running, but due to not so much movement within remote, fully remote working, it does limit your options for candidates that are for us top talent, but actually for their lifestyle, they don't want to be based in the big cities, the big areas, and it's just really around matching the two together to actually work well together. And if you have the opportunity to explore what a real remote working would look like in your organization, I do strongly advise it, because it's again a huge benefit for candidates for many reasons, and you will attract, like I said, candidates that are located in those more rural areas to hit the ground running.
Right. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you. Kathy, any last words?
Probably two things, and I'll be really, really quick because I'm very conscious of time. So, and this is a huge one for me, is about hiring for potential, not based on skill. So, focusing on hiring candidates with the right attitude, adaptability, and willingness in a talent short market is huge. So, look beyond the fact that they have or haven't got that customer service or call center experience. Have they got the right attitude? Have they got that willingness to learn? Because there are people out there, they just, you know, they may not have the skills that you're looking for on paper type thing. So, you know, to think outside the box a little bit, and that may require you to you know, to look at your recruitment process, think about, you know, change your mindset a little bit. You know, it may require you to do some tweaks with your training and your onboarding, but it's something that people need to consider. So I'm huge for hiring on potential rather than skill. The other thing which I think is just hugely important to cover off is diversity. Are you conscious of diversity? Is your organisation fostering diversity? Diversity can offer significant support in a talent short market. It again can cast your net wider. So tapping into demographics your company or brand maybe can't reach can really increase your chances of securing talent. So we have a sister brand, Tomai, if people haven't heard about it, that was launched earlier this year. And it's proud to have created, and we're proud to have created a place where Māori and Pacifica can go to support them with their career journey. So partnering with organisations such as Tomai can really help you to take your diversity journey up a notch. You know, if your brand or your organisation isn't kind of reaching these people, it's really something that you can look at doing as well.
Great. Well, it sounds like you got some good options for people to be familiar with, and
Yep.
I'd certainly recommend those that are here to get in touch with Tribe, but there'll be an opportunity for you to answer some questions that that still may be on their minds. We will come back to you with some answers to those 5 or 6 questions that are still in the list there. But again, we don't want to be over time too much and let you get back to what you get to. I'd like to thank Kathy and Nathan from Tribe for their time and their skill in answering these questions and giving us some thoughts around recruiting at this time. It is a difficult market for employment, but there are some great candidates, and it's just having the right packages by the sounds of it to attract the right people, and to perhaps look around and see what others are doing, to see that what might be on offer, and take what you think is useful for you, and also offer the flexibility of work arrangements, but also consider the fact that you're going to have a wide range of candidates from leaving school up to potentially, you know, looking at retirement in the mirror almost, and they'll be after different things. So don't eradicate everything in the search for the one thing that you think is going to attract everybody, because there probably won't be the one thing. Have some options. So thank you all for being here in attendance. Appreciate that. We look forward to hearing what Tribe have to say moving down the track, and those questions will be answered in a response to you, and we wish you a good rest of the day. Thank you all for being here.